I am an employment lawyer and I need to expose something. HR lies to employees every single day. Not always maliciously, sometimes they're just following company scripts. But these lies give workers a false sense of security that can destroy their legal rights. I've seen clients lose cases because they believed what HR told them. So today, I'm exposing 3 lies HR tells employees and what you need to know to protect yourself. And stick around for the last one because it's the lie that costs workers the most money in lawsuits. First, the legal stuff. This is not legal advice. I am an employment lawyer in Washington State, but this video is for education. Your situation is unique, so talk to a lawyer in your area for specific legal advice. If you're in Washington State, feel free to call my office. A link is in the description. Okay, let's get into it. The first lie I'm going to talk about today is when HR says that complaints are confidential. HR or management will tell workers that any complaints they make to HR, any investigations HR conducts, or any conversations you have with HR will be kept confidential. But here's the truth. Nothing you say to HR is ever confidential. So many times I have talked to workers who made HR complaints about their managers or coworkers who behaved inappropriately, and then HR turned around and told that other person every detail of the worker's complaint. This usually doesn't end well for obvious reasons, but it happens all the time. And beyond just telling the person you complained about, HR will also share your complaint with management generally. They'll discuss it in meetings, they'll loop in legal, and if you ever file a lawsuit, that complaint will come out in a legal process called discovery, where your entire HR file gets handed over to the company's lawyers. Every complaint you made, every word HR wrote down, every confidential conversation becomes evidence, out in the open for everyone to see. And the reason they can get away with this is because there is no legal requirement to keep these complaints confidential, so they just don't. So here's the bottom line to remember. These complaints are never confidential. But here's what you can do about it. Treat every HR conversation like it's being recorded for a courtroom. If you're making a serious complaint, put it in writing yourself first. Send an email creating your own record of exactly what you reported and what happened. That way you control the record, not HR. Lie number 2, HR conducted a thorough investigation. You report something like harassment to HR. HR nods sympathetically and says they'll investigate. Weeks later, they tell you this: "We concluded our investigation and we couldn't substantiate your claims, case closed." And they might even say their investigation concluded that you were the problem. So here's what actually happened. HR conducted what lawyers call a sham investigation. They interviewed the harasser who denied everything. Maybe they talked to one witness who didn't see anything. Then they closed the file and called it thorough. And if they caught wind of anyone who had something negative to say about you, they definitely interviewed that person and took diligent notes. Here is why this happens. Employers have a legal duty to investigate certain complaints of harassment and discrimination. So HR will make it look like they perform the investigation they're legally required to do, but they do it in a way that protects the company, not you. HR's investigation is merely a tool the company uses to shield itself from lawsuits, making your claims look weak and making you look like the problem in case you ever sue the company. You see, that way, they have a legal defense already. If you sue and say you were subjected to a hostile work environment, for example, they will bring out HR's report as evidence that you were the problem, and they will use it to say that you were never in a hostile work environment to begin with. So here is what to do about it. Find and keep your own evidence. Texts, emails, journal entries, calendars. Build your own investigation file. Then make your HR complaint in writing with your own evidence to back it up. That creates a written record you control. Do not rely on HR's investigations because it will almost never be a real investigation. Finally, the biggest lie. Reporting this won't affect your job. You're nervous about complaining, HR reassures you, "Don't worry, we have a strict non-retaliation policy. This won't affect your standing here." But here's the brutal truth. Complaining to HR will put a big target on your back. Always remember these words. HR is there to protect the company, not you. And employees who make HR complaints are the same people who file legal claims. So once you complain, HR flags you as a problematic worker and begins building a case against you. Suddenly your performance reviews tank, you're excluded from meetings, you get written up for things that were never a problem before. Now here's what you need to understand. If you make a protected complaint about discrimination, hostile work environment, wage theft, safety violations, or other illegal conduct, retaliation against you for making that complaint is illegal. So sometimes making an HR complaint can actually help you build your case, and it can be an incredibly powerful tool to use if you know how to do it. So here's how to use this to your advantage. Make your HR complaint in writing and be specific that you're reporting illegal conduct. That written complaint is now evidence. And the moment you complain, start documenting everything. Save emails, note changes in treatment. If your performance reviews suddenly tank after years of praise, that's evidence of retaliation. So note why your negative reviews are unjustified. Write it down with dates. And to learn more about how and when to make protected HR complaints, watch my video When to Go to HR. I'll put a link in the description and in the card, up here somewhere. But here's the bottom line. Never take HR's word that you're protected. Their job is to reassure you so you don't lawyer up. Your job is to protect yourself because no one else will. Now, I want to be clear, not every HR person is trying to hurt you. Many genuinely want to help, but HR is paid by the company. Their job is to protect the company from liability in lawsuits. When your interests and the company's interests conflict, HR will choose the company every single time. Their lies aren't always malicious, but the effect is the same. Employees trust the system, let their guard down, and lose their ability to protect themselves. So here's your rule to always remember. HR is not your friend. HR is not your advocate. HR is not confidential. Document everything yourself, keep your own evidence, and build your own case. Now that you know how HR lies to you, you need to know what you should never say back. So watch my video Never Say These 3 Things to HR right here. I break down the exact phrases that sabotage your legal claims. It's the perfect follow-up to this video. And if you found this helpful, please give it a like and subscribe to my channel. I make videos about the laws that protect workers. That's all for me this week. See you next time.